What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with my review of the TCL 30 V5G. So let's get started. Now, for full disclosure, TCL was kind enough to send this phone out to me to cover here on the channel, but all opinions expressed in this video, of course, are completely my own. In addition to that, about a month and a half ago, I had a chance to visit TCL's suite over at CES 2022 to get some early hands-on time with this phone. And I do have a video about that here on the channel, so it might be an interesting video to watch as well in addition to this one. But essentially, the TCL 30 V5G is an exclusive to Verizon, and what's especially awesome about this phone is that it is a relatively entry-level device, but it does support Verizon's millimeter wave 5G technology. Now, before I show you a variety of different things about the phone, let's take a closer look at the box and see what all comes included. So here is the box. You can see right there, TCL 30 V5G. Also on the back of the box, we have a summary of what's included, and then we also have some of the major highlights of the phone. But we'll be going over all of that throughout this video. So in the box, we have a SIM card removal tool. We have a USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. We have an 18-watt USB wall adapter for charging. And we have a quick reference guide for the TCL 30 V5G. So with the TCL 30 V5G, we're getting a large 6.67-inch display. Now the display is an LCD display running at 60 Hz. It is 1080p. We're getting a PPI of 395 and a 20:9 aspect ratio. Now you've probably already noticed through the video, but this is a really good looking display. Nice, bright, vibrant colors. And of course, with it being 1080p, things are pretty crisp and clear here as well. Now TCL, as you might be aware of, started off focusing on just creating TVs. And their TVs actually have some really good display technology in them. So essentially, when they started doubling down on creating their own smartphones, they took their experience in TV display technology and applied that to their own smartphones. And in general, I'm really happy with the final result of it because, again, this phone has a really great looking display. Now up top here, we do have a hole punch for the front-facing camera, and that camera is 16 megapixels. Now stay tuned for later on in the video, as I'll be showing you a variety of different photo and video samples from the device. Now internally, with the TCL 30 V5G, we have 128 gigabytes of internal storage, with 98 gigs of that being available to the user. And this phone also supports microSD card expansion. So if for some reason you happen to fill up all of that space, you can always add in a microSD card to offload photos and videos, for example. Now there's no wireless charging with the TCL 30 V5G, but the device does feature a fingerprint sensor on the back. So we'll give that a try right now. Nice and fast and accurate. One more time. Definitely very quick there. So a really good fingerprint sensor, and the phone also supports face unlock, so I do appreciate that we do have multiple methods for getting into the phone. Now taking a look at the camera module on the back of the device, we have a triple camera setup featuring a 50 megapixel main camera, a 5 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and a 2 megapixel macro camera for close-up images. And the device does support portrait mode for both the rear and front cameras. Now here's how things look on the camera app for the device. This is with the main camera right now. Then from here, we can switch over to the ultra wide angle camera to fit a lot more content into the frame. We can then go to the menu on the left side here to access some other options, and one of those is super macro. So with super macro, we can get very close up and have things be in really good detail, which is nice to have. And then we can go over to portrait mode to get those nice blurred out backgrounds. So here's how it is with the rear camera, and then we can flip around to the front facing camera. There's me right there. And then if you want to take a standard selfie, you can do that too. So I really do appreciate how many different cameras and options and abilities we do get here with the TCL 30 V5G. Now internally with this device, we're getting 4 gigabytes of RAM paired up with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 480 5G processor. Now I did run a benchmark test using Geekbench 5, and I'll show you the scores from that test right now. But essentially, the phone actually did really well, so I'm pretty happy with the scores from the test, and it really does reflect upon the real-world performance that I've noticed with the phone. So it's certainly nowhere near as fast as a Galaxy S22 Ultra, for example, but this phone is a fraction of the price. So what I recommend doing is running this test in your current phone, and then compare your scores to these scores to get a better idea of whether or not the TCL 30 V5G is going to be a performance upgrade for you. But again, based on my experience with the phone, it will get the job done for the majority of people out there, especially if you're just looking for a smartphone that's good for phone calls, text messages, social media, and web browsing. Now, video recording with this device does max out at 1080p with the front and rear cameras. We're getting a 4,500 milliamp hour internal battery with the phone, and it does support 18 watt fast charging, as you probably guessed, considering that we do get an 18 watt fast charger included in the box. Now, this device does feature Android 11 at the moment, and I have no idea if, when, or ever it's going to be getting Android 12. Now, typically with lower end phones like this one, they don't tend to get too many major Android software updates. So if you end up getting this phone, then expect to be with the current version of the software for quite a while. And if you really care a lot about constantly getting the newest versions of Android as they're released, then you probably will want to go for a more premium device. Now, this device does not feature NFC, which is a bit unfortunate, especially now in 2022, as mobile contactless payments are more popular than ever. Now, taking a closer look at the hardware of the device, in general, I like the form factor of it. I like that we do have that hole punch for the front-facing camera. The display looks great. And we do have a little bit of a thicker bottom bezel, but in general, the phone is a really nice, practically minded form factor. Now, the phone is made completely out of plastic, besides the display, which is glass, but that's not a problem by any means, considering that this is a budget device, and in general, the phone does feel of good quality. It certainly doesn't feel cheap by any means. Now, taking a look at the left side of the device, we have the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card. On the right side of the phone, we have volume up, volume down, and also the power button. Then up top here, we have the noise canceling microphone and 3.5mm headphone jack. Then on the bottom of the phone, we have the microphone, speaker, and we have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer. And then on the back of the phone, we have that camera module, flash, TCL logo, and the fingerprint sensor. Now, just like many aspects of this phone, the photo and video quality of it is certainly good enough for a device in this price range. But if you are comparing it to a more premium phone, such as an upper-end iPhone, or the Galaxy S22 series, which costs way more than this device, then there definitely is quite a bit to be desired. But again, as an affordable, budget-oriented device, I'm perfectly happy with the photo and video quality from it. You'll definitely be able to capture images that are good enough to post on social media, and if you're on vacation, for example, and you're using this phone to take pictures to preserve those various memories, then it's definitely going to get the job done for that, that's for sure. But let's now take a look at some video samples from the device. What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with a 1080p front-facing test video from the TCL 30 V5G. So let me know what you think about the video and audio quality. And here is a rear-facing 1080p video using the main camera on the TCL 30 V5G. Pretty quick autofocus in video mode, which is always great to see. And here is a 1080p video using the ultra wide angle camera on the TCL 30 V5G. So far, the Moto G Stylish 2022 is better than the 2021 model in pretty much every way. But stay tuned for my dedicated comparison video between this. So what's really awesome about the TCL 30 V5G is that we actually get stereo audio, which is really rare to find in lower-end devices. Now, by stereo audio, what I mean is that when you're watching videos or listening to music, you get audio coming out of both the earpiece and the speaker on the bottom of the phone. So it gives you a very immersive, high-quality audio listening experience, which is certainly a lot better than many of the devices that only give us audio out of the main speaker and that's it. So definitely something awesome to see there. And as far as the video viewing experience goes, again, since the display is so good on this device, things do look really nice. So for a lower end 5G device like this one, I'm really happy with the experience when consuming content. So in conclusion, is the TCL 30 V5G worth getting? I would say this phone is certainly a competitive option, and especially if you're looking to get a device that can use Verizon's millimeter wave 5G, but you don't want to spend too much money, then this is probably one of the top options out there because not too many devices support Verizon's full 5G network. But I'm definitely curious to know what you think about the TCL 30 V5G, and I do appreciate TCL sending this phone out to me to cover here on the channel. Definitely going to be doing several more videos about this phone in the future, so stay tuned for that. But I hope you liked the video, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.